I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, October the 10th, brought to you in part by Vitalix. Delivering the highest value tub for your feed dollar has been Vitalix's mission for over 30 years. Trust Vitalix to impact the profitability of your operation. Get the blue tub. Your cows will love you. Go to Vitalix.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards, another good run for them for the regular Tuesday cattle auction. Got about 3,500 head. It'll be mostly calves. In fact, they've got less than 1,000 yearlings, which is fairly light for them. They will have 10 straight loads of 7 to 9 weight yearling steers, but really light on the yearling heifers. Might be a few packages, but not any straight loads of heifers. Be lots of calves, over 2,000 head of calves. Quality is outstanding. Mostly be weighing 400 to 600 pounds. Very few of them, maybe only 20% of those being weaned. But the lion's share of them, probably 80% of them, will have at least one round of shots in them. So that's good. About 500 cows. Nothing too special in the cow offering, except for they are having another small package of those first calf heifer pairs like they had a week ago, and there'll be a lot of older bred cows, but likely the packers will get most of them. Holy War is, and you guys have seen that, Israel and Hamas throwing bombs at each other, and then we're hearing all the horrors that's going on over there. Is this the latest thing that's killing the cattle market here or holding it back? Board was down again to start the week on Monday, and boy, the board's been just killing us here the last couple of weeks. But it just seems like everything that affects the cattle market in a negative way. And the only thing that will bring it back up in a positive way, especially on your board, is supply and demand. But luckily, we still have plenty of that, so don't panic. Everything's been weighing down on your cattle market. Bidenomics, the inflation, the interest rates that they keep raising, trying to get the inflation under control. Everything that's just happening is happening to the cattle market too, and then pushing it down. But we have yet to get even close to our tightest supplies of cattle. Market ready cattle and calves, and I know that doesn't mean automatically that the prices have to get higher again or back higher than what they were here before they started falling, and like my grandpa always used to say is the money will run out before the cattle do, and all the old timers will tell you that, and they're right. But we've got extremely tight supplies of market ready cattle coming here in the last part of this year and in the first quarter of next year. We don't even really know how tight our calf supplies are. We're just getting into the calves for the fall run, but places like Central Texas have likely already sold the biggest part of their fall run because they've been so dry here all summer long. So I think there's going to be plenty of demand to go around for these cattle of all classes. We have yet to see your farmer feeders really get in. They're still busy with harvest right now, and so most of them will wait till they get everything done with harvest, everything put up, and then they'll get into the calves. They would like to see the weather get more consistently cool. It's still hot in the southern plains, and so folks aren't really getting excited about moving too many of their cattle yet. We are seeing cattle moving in the northern plains, though. They're getting some cooler weather up there, and they are starting to move the cattle up there. But we've got a lot of bullishness left in this market. And like I said here the other day, the sky is not falling yet. Just hang in there, protect yourself, and we're in for some good times. And we're in good times right now. Everybody's getting down in the dumps because the market's been down for a couple of weeks. Well, we've been coming up for a long time here, guys, and we're at pretty handsome levels, especially when you look back over history. So, like I said, don't panic on this market. we were bound to go through some ebbs and flows here, and like I said, all the outside interests are going to hit us, but we've got plenty of fundamental demand to get us back where we need to be. Talk about your board to start the week out. October live cattle down 70 cents on Columbus Day, ending at 182.37. December down 132 at 185.35. Your back months were down 90 to most months were down $1.15. I'm not sure why that was a popular level there, but most of them were down $1.15 on the back side of your contracts there. Feeder cattle for October down $1.47 at 246.90. November down $1.22 at 249.65. Back months were all down big from $1.65 to $1.92 lower. December new crop corn down $3 or 3 3/4 cents, 4.88 1/4. November new crop beans down 1 3/4 cents at 12.64 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for December has been going the opposite direction of corn and beans, and did that again on Monday, up 12 1/4 cents, ending regular trading at 6.86 a bushel. Your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade in your 5-area feeding region was rather large, 79,900 head, compared to the previous week of 62,100, and the same week a year ago, which was a big week, of 82,100 head. Live sales of steers and heifers in your 5-area feeding region last week ranged from 181 to 185, but they were really a lot more narrow than that. There was only 132 head at 185, less than 1,000 at 181. Most of your cattle bringing from 182 to 184. Your weighted average on live steers was 182.72, and that was 92 cents lower than the previous week's weighted average, so just about $1. Your dress sales last week ranged from 287 to 294.75, but they really logically weren't near that wide. There was only 78 head at the 294.75, and then didn't have anything until you went down to 290.50. Most all your dress cattle sold from 288 to 290. There was only 126 head at 287. So that's a lot more narrow price spread than what it shows here. But your weighted average on dress steers in the 5-area feeding region was 289.26. That was down $1 and a penny. But basically, your Northern Plains market was a buck lower at 183. Dress sales steadied to 2 lower from 288 to 292. Southern Plains a buck lower at 182. Nationwide, 94,500 head sold negotiated. That's the biggest we've seen here for quite some time. That's like 21,000 more than the previous week. So that's a big movement there in negotiated sales. Still a little bit lighter than the same week a year ago, which was 96,700 head. But of the 94,500, about 20% or 19,000 of those were for the 15 to 30 day delivery. Negotiated grid sales last week added up to be 43,400. Forward contracts last week 12,800 head, and formula sales last week 258,600 head, all priced off the smaller receipts negotiated there. But of the 4 of the 5 areas that we get to see information, Iowa sold 34,600 head last week negotiated. Nebraska sold 22,200. Kansas sold 10,200. And Texas sold a whopping 12,900 head negotiated. We've been selling like 6,000 and 7,000 here all summer and fall, and all of a sudden nearly 13,000 negotiated out of Texas on a down market. Box beef cutout values were higher to start the week, so that's a good thing. Your choice cuts up $1.41 at 303.42. Selects up $1.72 at 277.50. Your slaughter started the week out about normal at 125,000 estimated harvest there. Talk about what else is going on. Night Latch Group, which is Andy Cunningham and family there from Laverne, Oklahoma there, and going down into Lubbock, Texas, where his daughter lives and operates with the Night Latch Group. They want to encourage you to take a look at livestock gross margin policies to hedge your feedlot cattle and your corn at the same time. If you're interested in that, get a hold of them at nightlatch.net. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DVAuction based on the 800-pound cash auction steer up through the middle 12 states. Late on Monday, sitting at 245.47, down another 30 cents. So just about 245.5. CME cash feeder cattle index, the latest available, finally come back under 250. It's been running way too high here for the last couple of weeks, costing people that are trying to cash in their LRPs because the market's not that good, guys. Likely the 7 weights that are going in there are kind of holding it up there, but I don't know. Something else fishy's going on with that. They're downgrading a lot of cattle in the auctions. USDA reporters are. They're not counting all the cattle. And the cattle that are plainer, what happens to them? Do they just turn them out in the woods? No. They feed right down the alley from the other cattle. Why they don't put those in there, I don't understand. But let's talk about your sales on Monday. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City, 6,300 head. Feeders were mostly steady, not tested on the heavy feeders. Weaned steer calves $2 to $3 higher. Unweaned steer calves $3 to $6 lower. Heifer calves steady to $5 lower. Kind of a tough market there in Oklahoma City to start the week on lighter receipts. Joplin only had 3,500 head. That is nothing for them. Like I said, the drop in the market just had everybody pull the reins back on their marketing. They didn't want to sell at the low if this thing's coming back. But Joplin's market was very uneven. The losers outweighed the gainers quite a bit. They ranged from down $7 to up $3 a hundred there. But the market reporter there said that the cattle that were unworked, unweaned, and no shots, and especially the intact bulls, were taking severe penalties. That's that time of year, and a lot of people bringing those kind of cattle in, and they're buying them, I mean, just a world back from where the top sales are. But like I said, things haven't fallen completely out of bed yet. I'm going to give you some prices on calves and yearlings and other stuff here that's going to let you know that we're still in handsome market time right here. Your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day was Faith Livestock Auction in Faith, South Dakota. It's the only place you'll see this information unless Faith pays to put it out. About 5,500 head at the calf special there. Look at these fancy calves up there in western South Dakota and how they sold. You look at your best tested weights, and the market was some lower on much heavier receipts this week, but still 1,136 head of 4-weight steer calves in Faith, South Dakota, average 458 pounds with a weighted average price of $334.30. 1,622 head. That's a bunch of 5-weight steer calves. I bet 99% of them are black and 99-point-something% of them are fancy, long-haired, really good calves. But over 1,600 of the 5-weight steers averaged 550 pounds right on the button, with a weighted average price weighing in middle fives at $301.17. Look at the heifers, 673 head of 4-weight heifer calves, average 456. Weighted average price $304.40 on heifers. 452 head of 5-weight heifers, average 526 at $287.58. Those are pretty impressive calf quotes there, guys. The sky has not fallen yet. How about Joplin Regional Stockyards? They sell 120 steers, weigh 897 or 900 pounds there at $240.10 on a sale that really wasn't that hot on lighter receipts, but that's still a pretty impressive quote, guys, especially for the way things are. I want to tell you about a sale I was at over the weekend, a replacement cattle sale in El Campo, Texas at the El Campo Livestock Exchange. Was taking online bids there on Saturday. They had an impressive offering there. And I saw some F1 Brayford heifers. Now they were fancy. They were pretty and they were big and ready to breed, but they were open and they did bring $3,700 per head. Wow. How about Aberdeen livestock sales in Aberdeen, South Dakota? Talked to Kevin Larson, had a big long string of Hereford steers in there off grass. I mean a big long string of them. They sold very, very well. These are grass Hereford steers, 4 loads of them, weighed 945 and bring 240. 8 loads of them weighed 977 and bring 235. And another 4 loads of them weighed 1,035 pounds and bring 232 at Aberdeen Livestock Sales in Aberdeen, South Dakota. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Elgin Livestock Sales in Elgin, Nebraska. That's eastern Nebraska, guys. Talked to Ted Baum. He told me about 70 black steers, weighed 918 pounds, and bring 257.75. We hadn't seen them a whole lot higher than that, guys. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.